I wonder who's more powerful or who has more influence over America, the Pope or Benjamin Netanyahu? That is a good question. I don't know if you know this. Thor News is for winners, and that's why you're here. So stick around. Hit the button, baby. Party dance time. Stay cool. This is a Thor News presentation. Thor News presents. Alright, would you like to know how to party with the Pope? If you're gonna party with the Pope, there are specific rules you need to follow. You'll notice up here, we are at Bloomberg. The article, Rowdy U.S. Congress awaits behavioral rules on Pope visit. Now, this article was written back in the day, but hey, it's very apropos, up to the minute, up to the moment. Let's find out the rules Congress had to learn to get ready for their visit with the most famous celebrity on the planet. Now, I am a Christian, but technically I'm a Norse Christian Jedi, which is non-denominational, I guess. And now I'm not anti-Catholic. I know that a lot of Catholics I've known are really cool people. Now the Catholic Church, on the other hand, they used to burn astronomers at the stake for saying that the Earth rotated around the sun. They had that whole Spanish Inquisition thing where they murdered 400,000 people. They started the first corporation, which is the Catholic Church. So I don't like to gloss over those things, man. They've had a pedophilia scandal for quite a while. They're obsessed with gold, secrecy, and power. And I think the whole Pope thing is weird. Can you imagine if after Jesus Christ was crucified, they treated it like the Pope and were just like, all right, we're gonna elect a new Jesus Christ. We're gonna have a new Christ every time. And then every time that Christ died, they would just elect another one. It's pretty weird. And the world's been in a pretty crappy state, and Catholic Church has been one of the most prosperous churches out there when it comes to money and things. And, okay. Pope Francis smiles during his visit to the people of Banedo Norte at the chapel of Juan Bautista in Asuncion on July 12, 2015. U.S. lawmakers are used to a slew of rules about how to conduct themselves, and now they're anxiously awaiting edicts of another type. How to behave around the Pope. That's right. If you want to party with the Pope, you gotta follow the Pope rules. Pope Francis will visit the nation's capital September 24th as part of his 3-day stop in Washington, becoming the first pontiff to address the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives. Questions abound. Is it out of line to hug people when he enters the House chamber, or shake his hand, or smack him on the butt, or give him a wet willy, or give him a high five, bust out the Harlem Shake, or touch him at all? Is applause allowed when he speaks, or perhaps an amen? For a lot of members, they're Americans, and appropriate courtesy is not necessarily their cup of tea, said Representative Alcee Hastings. Yeah, I guess if somebody who is the head of one country, which is the Vatican, is coming to your country to tell you how you should enact your laws and rules and ways of life, I guess you should follow their rules as they come to your country and tell you what to do. I don't know, man. This is weird. I'm told that directives are going to go out about that, said Patrick Conroy, a Jesuit priest who as U.S. House chaplain coordinates the appearance of guest pastors who give the chamber's opening prayers. The worry is understandable. Joint meetings of Congress in the House chamber, including the annual State of Union address by the president, can be full of ceremony, yet also indecorous. Indecorous? What does that even mean? Indecorous. Not keeping with good taste and propriety. Improper. Well, I agree, our Congress is totally improper. The worry is understandable, knowing that our Congress is made up of some of the worst sociopaths, psychopaths, and sycophants known on planet Earth. Joint meetings of Congress in the House chamber, including the annual State of the Union address by the president, can be full of ceremony, yet also indecorous. We know what that word means now. You learn something new every day. Perhaps the most notorious moment in recent years was when Representative Joe Wilson, a South Carolina Republican, shouted, "You lie!" during President Barack Obama's September 2009 speech to Congress, after the president said his health care plan wouldn't cover undocumented immigrants. And maybe what he meant was the NSA has everybody documented. No one is expecting that kind of outburst directed to the Pope, but he won't exactly be preaching to the choir either. The Pew Research Center estimates about 1/3 of the members of the 114th Congress identify as Catholics. Wow. Boner's invitation. That sounds nasty. House Speaker John Boehner, an Ohio Republican and himself a Catholic. Oh, that makes sense now. extended the invitation to Pope Francis to speak at the Capitol. The Pontiff will also appear at a White House welcoming ceremony, and he will celebrate Mass at the Catholic Basilica in Washington. Can you imagine Jesus Christ with like a gold hat and a gold scepter sitting on a gold throne? Me neither. Given the need for protocol tips, Conroy met last week with Boner's Chief of Staff, Michael Somers, and said he was assured that guidance for lawmakers will be sent out soon. For a lot of members, they're Americans, you know, and appropriate courtesy is not necessarily their cup of tea. What Americans drink tea from cups, lady? You know, have you ever been to America? I guess Florida. That's kind of like America, right? Just kidding, Floridians. He noted that some lawmakers arrive in the House chamber hours before presidential speeches to grab ass and grab aisle seats so they can be spotted for a few seconds with the commander-in-chief. So then, what is proper behavior for a lawmaker based on the advice of Catholic Church experts and past State Department protocol guidance? Here's some advice to lawmakers about the Pope's visit. Appropriate dress. The rules are basic. Wear dark colors. For women, sleeves should cover the shoulders and elbows, and hems should fall below the knees. Oh, what? Why you gotta cover the elbow, man? What's wrong with the freaking elbow? Just wear a burqa. A black burqa. It seems like that would cover it. What about for dudes? Do dudes have to cover their elbows? Maybe Congress would be cooler if they wore shorts all the time. Reaching out, touching the Pope. I'm gonna guess no. Is it allowed? I'm gonna guess no. No one is supposed to approach him without an invitational gesture, but experts say it's unlikely he'll enter the center aisle without reaching out to some lawmakers. What to do if the Pope approaches you? Previous State Department advice suggests that when greeted by the Pope, one should either shake his hand, or if you are Catholic and want to do so, kiss the Pope's ring worn on his right hand. Alright, can I say that kissing the ring is creepy? I don't know why you kiss the ring. I don't know why you'd want to kiss the ring. I don't know why you're supposed to kiss the ring. But I think kissing the ring is creepy. Like, can you imagine Jesus Christ going, yeah, kiss my ring, dude. Kiss it. Kiss the ring. Yeah, the ring is power. What to call the Pope? This is pretty clear. He should be addressed as Your Holiness or Holy Father. President George W. Bush was criticized during a visit to the Vatican in 2007 for calling Pope Benedict XVI Sir several times. Wait, was Pope Benedict the one that looked like Emperor Palpatine. I can't remember. There's so many popes, it's hard to tell them apart, man. I'm so glad there was only one Jesus Christ. Standing ovations. These are a staple of the State of the Union addresses. Still, for the Pope's speech, standing and clapping would be viewed as tacky. Sit respectfully. If I were asked, my advice would be, please sit respectfully as if you were in church, and as if you were in a Catholic church. We in the Catholic Church don't go, "Amen, brother." We don't do that, Conroy said. Amen, brother. Okay. Amen, brothering is bad. But isn't the Pope our brother? Isn't the Pope our brother? Expressing displeasure with the speech. Not a good idea. If you do, you're gonna go to hell. Booing, shouting, or waving a banner is discouraged. Lawmakers should sit still and keep quiet during the speech. They dare not want to offend the one and only true Church of God. I was kidding. I know the Catholic Church says that they're the only Church of God and the only way to heaven, but I don't believe that, man. You know what I'm saying? While lawmakers await word on how to act around the Pope, the House adopted a rule Tuesday limiting who can be on the floor during the speech. Former House members typically permitted floor access for other activities won't automatically receive credentials this time. Those who can attend include current members of Congress Obama and Vice President Joe Biden, Supreme Court justices, and heads of departments, other House and Senate officials and administrators, the architect of the Capitol and Librarian of Congress, and other persons designated by the Speaker. Inherently cantankerous, Representative David Schweikert, an Arizona Republican and a Catholic, said he is optimistic that the Pope's visit to Congress will be incident-free. The House may be an inherently cantankerous institution, said Schweikert. Yet he added that when it's time to step up and follow protocol, for the most part, we do a pretty good job. For example, when bankers ask us to get on our knees, or bend over, or screw the American people, we follow the protocol they tell us to. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Or when we have to put on some weird-ass kabuki theater over Syria or debt ceilings, we all fake it and do our part. You know what I'm saying? Anticipation for the visit is building. Demand for tickets are pouring into legislative offices. Lawmakers, though, were told earlier this month that they would only have just one ticket to distribute to a guest for a gallery seat during the speech, and or 2 tickets each to hand out for an additional appearance by the Pope on the West Front outside the Capitol. Get your Pope tickets! I got 2 Pope tickets here. Get your Pope tickets. Pope scalpers. You know that they're making a fortune. Florida Archbishop. God dang, this article is long. Hastings said he's already promised his house gallery ticket to the Archbishop of South Florida. On the House floor itself, extra seats are likely to go to members of the Supreme Court and cabinet officials. Although Boner's office didn't confirm who will attend. Previous speeches by world leaders in the House chamber, as well as the State of the Union addresses, have produced a large range of memorable moments. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech to Congress in March was marked by partisan cheers, mostly from Republicans, as Netanyahu slammed the nuclear deal Obama was negotiating with Iran. The day's drama included Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi throwing her hands up in exasperation. Other cringe-producing episodes include former Republican President Michelle Bachmann of Minnesota grabbing Bush's shoulder, planting a big kiss on his cheek, and then hanging on as he sought to make his way out of the House chamber following his 2007 State of the Union speech. I wonder who's more powerful, or who has more influence over America, the Pope or Benjamin Netanyahu? That is a good question. A Vatican official who didn't want to be identified so that he could speak candidly said the U.S. bishops are probably helping Boner's office develop guidelines for U.S. lawmakers. The rules are more strict when someone comes to the Vatican, he said. The Vatican official said he expects the Pope's visit will be pretty well choreographed, and a major aim, in part for security reasons, will be to keep things moving. Alright, so there you go. Those are the rules to meet the most powerful, most popular, and most famous man on the planet. The Pope. Sweet! And if I offended any Catholics, I do apologize. I didn't mean to. Okay, thanks. God bless everybody. Have a great day.